Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MT Predictor software program. In this video I'd like to take a quick look at the USE minis and how they've unfolded over the last couple of days. This has been Friday the 14th and Monday the 17th of September. Now if we look at some of the markets like the ES, you can see quite frankly the markets have been really horrible. They've just been sideways and choppy and really horrible to trade. As you can see here, it's just going nowhere really. However, there was one market that probably stands out as probably the best out of the four USE minis, and that was the Russell Index, which is this one here. So I'd like to have a look at this, particularly the TS3 sell that unfolded yesterday, and then also the TS3 sell that unfolded on Friday, particularly this one here because it was against a blue STF. Right. When we do any analysis, we always start with the longer or larger the longer time frame or the larger degree trend. So for this we go to the 15-minute chart. So what can this tell us? Well, first and foremost, it looks like we have a rally up here into last week. So if I right mouse click, do Elliott wave intermediate on the high, you can see that here we had a rally up into a wave 5 high that was reversing around the typical wave 5 WPT. Normally what we suggest is once a wave 5 swing is complete, we normally get a correction into the decision point from the wave 4 low, which is here. So in other words, we're expecting from this particular high, we're expecting or anticipating that the trend is down, ideally into this decision point zone. Obviously it doesn't always have to unfold like that, but generally the probabilities are saying that from this high the trend is down. So if the 15-minute trend is down, we should be looking for sell setups. So what does that mean yesterday? Well, yesterday, which was Monday, we had two sell setups. The first came in here. Both of these, by the way, were on a red STF, so both of these were actually standard and automatic trade setup, so any MT Predictor user could take these. This first one was quite frustrating because it then took you out and stopped you out literally to the tick. And then that next bar then came in and gave you another setup. So yesterday you'd have had a -1R loss. Remember, we use position sizing to keep our losses small and under control. That's the trick to any successful trading. So you'd have had a -1R loss on this first one, then come in down into the first target. First target was on a weak STF, in other words it hadn't gone beyond the strength band, therefore standard traders would have looked to come out with plus 2.7R profit. So this is a very good example of position sizing where we had one profit and one loss. One loss was -1R, one profit was plus 2.7R. In other words, the profits were much larger than the losses, and that's how we made money over time. So a profitable day yesterday, although it was quite tricky. But the day before was slightly easier, I think, because this was our wave 5 high on our 15-minute chart. Remember, we looked at that here. There's our high there. So on our 3-minute chart, this was our high here. We then had the initial correction down, the initial move down, initial correction up to then, so I'll just clear the chart off there, up into this high here. So really we should be looking to play this one as a holy grail trade setup. In other words, we should be looking to trade this down into the typical wave 3 WPT. Now as we go forward, there's the close there yesterday, sorry, on Friday. The market didn't do it, but the market did reach our first target here. And as I've said in the past, when we have choppy, sideways, horrible days and we're not that far away from the close, here we are within the last hour of trading, and you're looking to potentially bank a 3.8R profit, it makes sense to put that in the bank, particularly when you've had some quiet days. But the main point is that even though this STF was blue, we've already seen the large degree trend was down, therefore this TS3 sell would be a good one to take. We also came up here for another trade setup here. If we look at this one, you can see the market took you in for another trade. This would have been a pyramid trade for the more advanced traders among you. And the one thing I do say is if you ever look to pyramid or add to your existing position, always look to bring your stop on your initial position to break even. So in other words, it makes this trade a free trade, as we call. So if you did add another position here, again the market came down to its first target, which is also the same area as the first target from this initial trade, so you could have actually put in another plus 2.1R. So the Russell Index actually gave us quite a good day on Friday, where there was a plus 2.1R profit and a plus 3.8R profit. But the trick behind this, or the reason that you would have had confidence to take these trades, was the 15-minute chart. And the reason of that was because this was a wave 5 high, therefore the trend was anticipated to be down. Therefore, when we came to our 3-minute charts, as we do here, it was good to try and take short trade setups. So even though the USE minis have been quite tricky over the last few days, the Russell Index probably has been the best market out of any of them the last couple of days, particularly on Friday, with, as we've seen, a couple of nice trades coming in, and even yesterday, which was Monday, a minus 1R loss, then a plus 2.7R profit. So scraping out a few small profits when the markets are tricky and sideways is always a good result.